for the international transit. FCA, CPT, and CIP are developed because various modes of transport are available in international trade. FCA stands for Free Carrier, 货交承运人, followed by the named place of delivery. Look at the following two examples. FCA Pudong Airport, Shanghai, China, is for our export price. FCA Brussels Airport, Belgium, is for our import price. Critical points in FCA are the same. When the goods are handed over to the carrier nominated by the buyer at the named place, both risk and the costs will be passed on to the buyer. CPT and CIP have the same point of delivery as FCA, but different points of cost division. It is very important to identify the place of delivery, which tells us when delivery is completed. If the goods are handed over at the seller's premises, the seller delivers the goods when they have been loaded on the means of transport provided by buyer. 如果指定的地点在卖方的营业场所，卖方将货物装上买方指定的交通工具，即完成了交货义务。In any other cases, goods are delivered when they are placed at the disposal of the carrier or another person nominated by the buyer on the seller's means of transport ready for unloading. 如果交货地点不在卖方的营业场所，那么当卖方在指定的地点将货物交给买方指定的承运人处置后，即完成交货义务。卖方只需做好卸货准备，而无需将货物从卖方使用的运输工具上卸下。Division of obligations in FCE are similar to that in FOB. When the contract is concluded on FCA term, the seller should prepare the goods as contracted, go through export formalities, and deliver the goods to the carrier at the named place. After which, the seller should give sufficient notice to the buyer and provide all the documents necessary for the buyer to take delivery of the goods. As for the buyer, it also takes similar obligations as the buyer in FOB. First, the buyer takes the responsibility to contract for carriage and insurance for the international transit, then to make payment and accept documents, and finally to go through all import formalities and take delivery of the goods. CPT stands for Carriage Paid To, 运费付至哪里, followed by the named place of destination. Look at the following two examples. CPT Pudong Airport, Shanghai, China, is for our import price. CPT Brussels Airport, Belgium, is for our export price. Just as the difference between FOB and CFR, in CPT, the seller takes one more obligation to contract for carriage. That is the buyer's obligation in FCA. Thus, the difference between the CPT price and FCA price lies in the carriage paid by the seller for international transport. CIP stands for Carriage and Insurance Paid To, 运费和保险费付至, followed by the named place of destination. CIP Pudong Airport, Shanghai, China, is for our import price. CIP Brussels Airport, Belgium, is for our export price. Because the seller, rather than the buyer, takes the obligation to contract for insurance in CIP, the difference between the CIP price and the CPT price is the premium paid for cargo insurance during international transport. Let's refer back to the picture that I have shown you when we begin to talk about 6 major trade terms. It summarizes the similarities and the differences among trade terms in each group, as well as the relationship between the two groups. As for trade terms in the same group, differences lies in the division of obligations. With the seller taking more obligations, we move from the top to the bottom. However, they have the same point of delivery and applicable transport modes. What is the relationship between the two groups of trade terms? FCA, CPT, and CIP were first introduced in the 1980 edition. For containers made multimodal transport and door-to-door delivery possible, which called for new trade terms. They are the extension of FOB, CFR, and CRF, respectively.